I wonder if you agree with that, Rashawan, because even to me, it did seem like a bit fatalistic. But nevertheless, I mean, to me, what was shocking was that the number was this high, the percentage was this high. 72% is certainly not a small percentage of Americans who believe that there may very well be, or are concerned at the very least, about riots and violence after the election.
Well, I mean, I hope the professor is right. And again, thank you for having me on the show. I think what this is highlighting are a few things. First, that when it comes to what cable news shows and also what people see on social media is widespread violence this summer related to civil unrest. We also know that there were foiled kidnapping plots of the governors of Michigan and Virginia that, to the point that was just made, that I think coming out of the White House helped to embolden those particular activities. So as we head to the polls, it's not simply about whether or not Biden or Trump is going to win. It's also about the fact of whether or not the American public believes and has faith in the outcome. And that's something different. And distrusting government, distrusting the democratic political process is part of what can inflame violence. And now we also have to be realistic about where the violence might come from. We know when it comes to domestic terrorism that 75% of these domestic terrorist acts in the United States are committed by right-wing extremists, but 25% are committed by people on the left side. So as we think about this, we also have to disentangle the differences in what might happen between impacting people versus property. Oftentimes, left-wing extremists will oftentimes attack property, whereas right-wing extremists oftentimes attack people, and that leads to the violence. So as an American, I am worried about what might happen, but what I hope is that regardless of who loses, after we have evidence from mail-in ballots and absentee ballots, that the loser will concede, and that then will come out and say, look, we don't need violence, we need to come together. And I think that one candidate oftentimes is better positioned to do that than the other.